The one they call the Big Daddy Kane is here as the party animal, sex symbol, soloist, vocalist, microphone miracle, here to react, attack. As a matter of fact, I bring forth a sudden impact. Wanna say knick-knack, paddywhack, give Kane a microphone, and all the other MCs are going.
At the Grand Concourse 149th Street station in the Bronx, graffiti writers gather at what they call the writer's bench.
The greatest story my whole team is eating off of this good shit. Good shit, nigga. Next time, don't overlook shit. Keep your eyes open.
What's good, what's good, what's good? Live from the Writer's Bench, another episode. I'm your man, Kill. We got my usual suspects on deck. Beezo, Ev, JP, what's going on, y'all?
What up, babe?
Shout out to the homie Vic, who ain't with us tonight. As always, we're going to keep it moving. But, yo, today's show, I got to send a shout out to my man, Lakers King 1. He left a comment on one of our YouTube videos saying that he thought it would be a dope show if we all sat down and talked about what were 5 of our favorite verses in hip-hop. You know what I mean? So that's what today's show is about, our 5 favorite hip-hop verses. We're not saying these are the illest, that these are the greatest, that these are the most lyrical genius verses ever. They're just 5 verses that each one of us personally like. So we're going to go around the table, chop it up, talk about the verses, why we like the verses and everything like that. So, Ev, you being a resident MC on the bench, why don't we start with you? Because I'm sure you're going to hit us with something diabolical that we've never even heard of, some jizza remix from Australia that we've never even heard of before. So you being a resident MC, why don't you set us off? What you got, bro?
Well, my 5 favorite. I don't think it's nothing way too deep. I think because it's only 5, so it's probably gonna be like, for the most part, you know, the most popular. I hate to throw this out there because I feel like this is gonna be, if not on everybody's list, on somebody else's list. But I'm gonna just do it. Nas, Verbal Intercourse. Nah, ain't nobody had on their list.
Nah.
Damn. All right, so my number 1 then. Actually, I'm not going to say this in any particular order, but my first one that I'm going to give to y'all is Nas, Verbal Intercourse.
Classic.
One of the dopest verses I think he has ever written. I think Silent Murder came kind of close. Of course, some stuff off Illmatic came kind of close, but I think this is probably, to me, one of my favorite Nas. Not even probably, this is one of my favorite Nas verses.
Now tell me this.
What album is that from?
This album is off of Built for Cuban Links.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, do you have the lyrics in front of you? Because if you have, I'd love for you to spit them.
Okay, I do, and I would love to do.
We got a lot of young viewers that may not have ever heard it, so and just to give us old heads a minute to reminisce, quick shout out to all my peoples out there, because sometimes I need paper. I'm getting old, so we be getting comments like, "Oh, y'all ain't even know," and y'all ain't coming off the top, dog. I'm 40 with a kid and I'm married, dog. I barely can remember how to get home every day from work. So yeah, I need paper in front of us. But Ed, why don't you go ahead and kick that Nas joint for us?
All right, I'm gonna get this. And I gotta shout out this website, rap.genius.com. They have a lot of verses on here.
Yeah.
I think they're a little. I don't know if some of these cats that's putting up stuff are from different places because they're a little off on their slang. They might think it's something, but it's just slang. But for the most part, you get some good verses. Then they kind of break down to them what each section of the verse means. But here's Nas' first verse on Verbal Intercourse was Nas, and this is how it goes. Through the lights, cameras, and action, glamour, glitters, and gold, I unfold the scroll, plant seeds to stampede the globe when I'm deceased. But then the beasts arise like yeast to conquer peace, leaving savages to roam the streets, live on the run. Police paying me to give them my gun, trick my wisdom with the system that imprisoned my son. Smoke or go leave for whole heat, nonchalantly I'm raunchy, but things I do which really never haunts me. Wow. But funny style niggas rolling the pile, rooster heads profile on the bus to Rikers out. Holding weed inside their pussy with their minds on the pretty things in life. Props to the true thug's wife, it's like a cycle. Summer come home, summer go in, do a bullet, come back, do the same shit again. From the wound to the tomb, presume the unpredictable, gun to new life rapidly. That's the ritual.
God
that shit is fire.
Classic.
You know, man, that verse from, and the reason why it's my favorite because a lot of times you'll get verses and you'll have little sleepy sections sometime here and there where the cats will kind of fall off. But this verse, Nas runs it from top to bottom. Now, on this site, I don't know if this is true or not. This is a little hip hop trivia. If anybody want to do a little digging, they can do some digging. There was somebody that left a comment that said this verse was actually from a unreleased, pre-recorded Nas song called Deja Vu.
I heard that too.
It sounds like it might have been the same verse over top of that beat, but I didn't dig hard enough, so I don't know when Deja Vu came out. But nonetheless, I know I talked about this verse in other sessions that we have because to me this was Nas at his height. This is Nas in the perfected the run-on sentence, and just like his metaphor game was just ridiculous. You know, just the cat just he had so. I mean, Nas is already a nasty cat, but he's not like a storyteller where he paints a picture, but he's like a I don't know if he's like a Baldwin or if he's like a Alex Haley, but he has certain ways of writing to give you a certain type of view of his thinking. Not necessarily the picture, but of his thinking. So this is like one of the classic ones, and yeah, I'm gonna stop because I'll talk about this verse all day.
Yeah, I mean that joint it's crazy, man. And then, like you said, I think that was not just Nas ass height. That was hip hop at one of its heights. You know, just Bill for Cuban Link, that RZA, that Emotion sample, the joint right there was bananas, and yeah. JP, what you think about that? That's Queen. So what you think?
Man, I think it was so much that went into it because at that time, his album had already came out, and Built on Cuban Links was just a crazy album. But the way the song started, the sample was mixed, and then as soon as the beat dropped and his verse start, it was just like, oh my god. But the best line is "Trick my wisdom with the system that imprisoned my." Oh my god! I was like, oh my god! It blew my mind when I heard that, man. I was just like, dang, what? I was like, what did he say? Oh, good. We got to bring it back. So I mean, it was all around classic, man. Classic.
And I got to give a shout out to my man. I have to forgive me because I can't, I don't know his God name, but my man Zayd. We was in a car. It was him and my man Khaled, and we was in a car. We listened to this verse, and I remember we were talking about the fact that he said, "Smoke a gold leaf, a whole heat nonchalantly," like it's nothing. Not that I'm promoting gun violence, but back on that time, that was just a nasty thing to say, like a whole heat nonchalantly. Like what? That shit is nothing.
What you think about that, Beezo?
I mean, ain't much else I can say from what these two cats said. It's the same thing. I think, like you said, Kill, it's more than just a verse. It was just the time of hip hop, man, where Nas had the classic line to me, "To put me in your box if the shit eats tapes." I mean, because that line right there was crazy because everybody, if you ever had tapes in the box radio or your man's car, and there's that one cat, nah, I don't put shit in his car, son. He should be eating up tapes. And for Nas to spit that, it's just like, he just like Ev just said about the whole guns nonchalantly. It's like the little subtleties, man, that to me just is what separates a nice cat and the illest cats, is the little subtleties. And Nas, I mean, like you said, that was the height of his whole thing for me. That time in hip hop, everything was just perfect for what Nas was doing, man. Ain't much else I can say than what these cats said. Right.
All right, y'all. I always go last, so I'm gonna jump in here real quick with my first joint. I'm sure nobody else has this. It's a personal favorite of mine. Ev, you may be able to relate. Black Thought off Philadelphia Life, Push Up Your Lighter. That verse right there was bonkers to me. So I'm going to go into this joint because, I mean, I remember listening to this joint, and I'll talk about why I love it so much. Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Authority is what I'm probably on. If I ain't whipping the land throughout your sex, Sean. My mind's in trying 9 times out of 10, I rounds up on the L train. Within my brain, fountains over rugged mountains of my terrain. Dig it, I came too far to front, so I meditate on how to maintain. Stepped off at City Hall into the rain and ran into my nigga named Dane. I mean Hakeem, and we was building on how we could organize the team for this capital game. Being that we in the rap game, It's time to have it all. He said he figured the same. We realize it's a plan to cream to obtain with the predominantly rap spark the flame, hawk the name. The fifth from the ill Power Hill, and then he's dropped me off within the streets of South Phil, where niggas think the killer's living real. Shorties is getting wedded, fulfilling their fantasies to set it. We don't sweat it. By the fifth, you get beheaded. I pivot through the borough, giving pounds to the dreaded. At the last spots, I got credit. Can run them down in alphabetical order. It's sort of pathetic. Yo, I'm living within a labyrinth of nonsense, and it's a consequence of being Philly residents. Try to get it on. The rhythm getting shitted on. The exquisite I exhibit the shine. Woo! Now, I understand it may be a Philly thing, but the way he said
that's a dope verse. Ain't no
our bus system in Philly is called SEPTA for short, and it's Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Authority. So when he started the verse off like that, I was just like, damn, like, yo, the beat was crazy, but when he said it like that, he just had me. And when he's like, what I loved about Thought during that time period was like how he would, I don't know, Ev, I guess it's like changing how words come out, like whipping the land throughout your section. My mind's in Trump. Like, it wasn't just like a section. It was like section. Like, he would change his words to fit into what he was saying. And then, you know, just the fact, like, it was Philly. So during that time, like back in 94, 95, the Roots had like one Land Cruiser that they all would share. So like, you would just see a dude whipping a Land, and Thought is mad short, and he had crazy dress. You would just see like a Land Cruiser speeding and a little short dude with dreads. So it was like, yeah, like if I ain't whipping the Land throughout section, 9 times out of 10, I rhyme up on the L train. So I just thought the joint was crazy. And Illadelph was just a crazy album. I actually think that's Thought just that, you know, losing his mind on that album. But Ev, what you think about that?
Yo, man, I'm gonna be honest. Illadelph Half-Life is one of them albums that got by me, so I never got a chance to listen to it all the way through. So I'm actually not familiar with the verse. I remember somebody talking about that song before, and I do remember hearing that verse before, but I never really sat and meditated on it. So, but I mean, it's Thought, so he's already up there.
Right. What you think, JP?
I have the album, but that's one of the verses that I'm not familiar with, and I haven't heard the album in a long time. But Thought, to me, on a whole, like, you know, around that time, that album came out, what, 96?
Yeah, like 90, yeah.
96. He, to me, like all some of our favorite MCs like Biggie and Jay and Nas, they were in their prime at that time, and he was there. He's one of the few MCs over the years has gotten better to me lyrically. Like, you know, even, you know, with every album he says stuff, and I'm just amazed. But hearing that verse right there, it's just, you know, it's classic Thought, man. It sounds dope. I'm gonna have to get myself familiar with the joint again.
No doubt. What you got, Beezo? Do you know the verse, or is that?
I was about to say this. The verse, as you were spitting it, certain parts of it that sounded familiar, but I mean, keeping it 100, I've never bought a Roots album, so I can't sit here and say that I know it like that. But just what I heard was dope. But to add on to that, though, I may have said it before on one of the previous shows that, to me, Thought is one of the most slept-on cats lyrically.
Yeah.
Like, we had the show, we broke it down like MCs, rappers, and lyricists. To me, Black Thought is a lyricist.
Yes.
He's like, he's on that level. I put him up there like a notch below like Nas and them cats. You know, he's like the B-level lyricist, but at any moment, he could say some shit that catapults him into that next level. You know what I'm saying? It's like how frequently he's there. And he may be there permanently, but again, unfortunately, I'm not heavy on the Roots like that. Like, I don't know, there's something about them, and when they first came out, I just couldn't rock with the 18 cats on stage. Because I felt like Thought was so nice, he didn't need all this shit around him and shit. So let me just say my man spit. It felt like, well, either I'm just looking at my peoples, or we got to do everything we can to get on and be separate from everybody else. So that part of it always kind of turned me off about Roots.
Was it the live band thing too?
No, I ain't got no problem with the live band, but it's just like, you know, they had the beatbox cat with Rozelle. You know, he's doing pretend scratches like a DJ. I'm like, fam, just give me a DJ, my dude. And you from Philly, so I know there's crazy ill DJs coming out of Philly. So there was no reason why they didn't have some ill cat instead of Rozelle. I couldn't get with that, man. But I don't want to get sidetracked.
But no doubt, anybody out there, everybody dig out Illadelph again. Trust me, it's a dope album. It's 5 mics to me. Thought just kills it lyrically. So, JP, what you got on tap?
Thought is not on my list. I had a couple verses. Like I said, I've been. This is a hard thing to come up with 5 good verses, but I'm gonna continue on from Ev and pick a Nas joint. And actually, this wasn't one of my favorite songs on a whole, but the verse I thought was dope, and it's the second verse from "If I Ruled the World."
All right.
So to me, the verse is crazy. So I'm gonna just. See, I got it right here on my paper too. So you know what I'm saying? I'm like you. I'm like you, Kill. I got it on my paper here. So the verse goes, and I'm sure a lot of y'all familiar with it anyway. So it's the way to be paradise, like relaxing back. Latino, Anglo-Saxon, Amani exchanged the rain. Cash lost tribe of Shabazz, free at last. Brand new whips to crash. Then we laugh in the illa path. The villa houses for the crew, how we do. Trees for breakfast. Dime sexes and bench stretches. So many years of depression make me vision the better living type of place to raise kids in. Open the eyes to the lies history's told foul. But I'm as wise as an old owl plus the gold child. See things like I was controlling, click rolling. Trick 6 digits on kicks and still holding. Trips to Paris. I civilize every savage. Give me one shot, I turn trife life to lavish. Political prisoner set free, stress free. No work release, purple M3s and jet skis. Feel the wind breeze in West Indies. I make Correct Scott King mayor of the cities and reverse fiends to Willie. I know it sounds foul, but every girl would go downtown. I'd open up every cell in Attica, send them to Africa. Now to me, man, this verse was just so ill. Like it was just like a young kid's fantasy of what life would be like if he ruled the world. He painted that picture of what he would definitely do. A kid from the hood and all the things that he would do with his peoples from the hood. And I mean, the lyrics are just crazy to me. Like I envisioned everything he was saying. Like, and when he said, I make Coretta Scott King the mayor of the city, like, I was just like, yeah, that's dope. It's so dope to me. That was one of my favorite verses.
Yeah, I think the craziest thing about that is I hated the song. But it's also props to Nas, because even when I guess he's trying to sell out, he still lyrically is getting high. Like, most rappers, when it's like, okay, this is the radio song, it's like, all right, let me dumb it down. Where Nas kept it 100, he kept it just as gutted as it would have been if it was a pre. Like, I really honestly don't think he would have come up with anything different with a primo joint or, a large pro joint. Like, it's still, I'm going to give you my lyrical input on what I think. I'm not going to dumb nothing down. We, may have not liked the beat and the whole thing like that. But like you said, lyrically, he just, and it's crazy because, when you said it, I'm like, man, I may not even know this verse, but not even liking the song, I knew every word you was like, you know it, even though you think you may not know it because it's not one of your favorite joints. So I feel you. What you think about that, Ev?
I hate that song, man. That's so good. So I never gave none of that no play. That part of Nas wasn't necessarily my favorite. He was a little bit more focused on fashion and money, just slightly. But so that wasn't like one of my favorite parts of Nas. But to be honest with you, I never really gave that song any airplay. So I never really listened to it. So I never really gave it a chance because I was like, oh, here comes this shit. I rule the world. He on the cars, shit. Yeah, I couldn't do that. Yo, man, that just wasn't the cat that I wanted. So I didn't give it too much airplay.
What you think, Beezo?
I didn't quite hate it like y'all cats did, but I wasn't. Same thing, man. It's like the thing about Nas at that time. I think the run from Illmatic lyrically, even though I didn't care for the song, I didn't hate it, but I didn't, I wasn't like I was running out to get it and put it on my, my mix or whatever. But his lyrics, man, was just so powerful on Illmatic that them type of shit's just kind of you know it without even trying to know. You know what I'm saying? Like what you said, Killed It. I wasn't loving that song, but as JP is spitting it, I knew the verse. You know what I'm saying? And I was never the type to be listening to the radio and all that, so it wasn't like I was hearing it by osmosis, on the radio. So because it was Nas and it was fresh off of the Illmatic movement, whatever you want to call that shit, them type of songs and lyrics still got through to me. You know what I mean? It's kind of like we talked about a while ago, Kill. Like I'm kind of like, if it's dope, it'll make its way to me. I don't got to go out and seek it. And Nas was that type of dude at that point, coming off Illmatic. Even though I think that was the beginning of the end of, you know what I'm saying, Nasty Nas was that album and potentially that song. But I think, like you said, man, it's like he was just so ill that you going to hear shit without even realizing you're hearing it because it's Nas.
Now, I'll tell you the funny thing, too, is I've actually, and this is a whole nother show. This is a quick inside. We'll do this on another show. I know a lot of young dudes who are probably 35 and younger who say It Was Written was better than Illmatic. You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm just saying they're younger dudes. But the thing is lyrically, I think Nas was still on point that whole album. You know what I mean? Like lyrically, it wasn't as bad as what I think people say It Was Written was. You know what I mean? But neither here nor there. That's a whole nother show. So, Beezo, what you got for your joint?
Oh, man. Dog, y'all have no idea how difficult this was for me. I don't know how hard it was.
It's just a G-rap verse. We all know it's a G-rap verse.
So go ahead and spit one, man.
Spit one, but I'm going to start with my favorite MC of all time, my man Rakim Allah. What's on your mind, man? I can't say the verse because, number one, it's all three the verses for me.
Right.
I'm going to just, and it seems like y'all cats, I know it, but I got it right here in front of me on my screen. So I'm going to just read to y'all like the crib notes, the parts that would just have me like, damn, son. First off, the beginning of the whole song, when you say, I seen it in the subway on my way to Brooklyn. Hello, good looking. Is this seat cooking on the 8 train? Cooking in her brain. I couldn't get a number. I couldn't get a name. Yo, that's that part right there. I was like, I was in my seat on the 8 train thinking about like, yeah, I know exactly what Ron's talking about, son. I feel him. I'm with him. I know the whole scene, son. Going, you know what I mean? And at the end of the verse, he's like, curiosity at a high velocity, maybe possibly she had the hots for me. I said, if we're playing games, then we're going to play mine. I'm going to lay the rules because it ain't much time. Come on, son. If that ain't enough, the last line of the second verse, the nigga says, now I'm coming to see you to spend some time. I'm a romantic warrior. What is it, a crime? Yo, from that moment, and I was already like, Rakim was the illest, and that was one of their worst albums, truth be told, as a group.
Right.
That line right there, I was like, yo, this nigga's my hero, son. He made it cool to be like a smooth cat with the chicks with those 2 words, I'm a romantic warrior. Come on, son.
Man, you know what? I just realized something. I can understand why you love Ghost Dini now, cuz.
That's his whole thing.
It just connected for me right there. Okay.
Yo, son, I've been there. I've been on the A train. Peace and shorty. You like, all right, I'm gonna go holler and shit. And sometimes it's a hit or miss. And you get that one chick that's like, whatever. You know, all right, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And then even now he breaks it down like, she's like, she turns her head, no play. I said, okay, you don't really look good. I hope you have a bad day. Like, come on, son. I can't keep it at 100. But then he gets off the train to see his man Killer Ben in Fort Greene, where the girls are real, to tell you how they feel.
Like steel.
But peep this shit. And this is what I'm talking about, the visual shit. This nigga says, stomped up the street and did I hear a treat? Hard high heels tapping on the concrete. I took a peek, it was the girl from the train behind me. This should live in the area, was she trying to find me? I didn't want to play myself out, I played it off. Stop and I bought a Guinness Stout. Come on, son. Every cat I was running, the whole crew, everybody's drinking Guinness Stout. If it wasn't a 40, it was a Guinness Stout. So when he said that on top of all that, it was just like, yo, this nigga, man. Come on, bro.
Hey, look, man, Beezo. Back in the day, we used to have a little slow jam tapes. I need a hip hop.
Oh, I got that. I got a whole playlist. I got a whole playlist on my iPod for just that.
Oh man.
Like, hip hop for the honeys type shit. Word up. And I'm saying, like, dog, just the whole joint. Because then in the end, when he's getting into with the shorty, came to see her, you know, they watching the Huxtables, and she got sat next to me and said, "What's up with you?" Yo, this nigga said, she said it was you got the feeling of sexual healing. No, a mental healing is how you feeling. She caught the effect and said she could feel the same. Could you massage my intellect and stop the pain? Woo! That shit is powerful, my dude. It's powerful, son. I mean, cause straight up, if you was straight up pushing on a shorty, and now you didn't have to rhyme all this shit, but if you came at her in this shit right here, what he's saying, come on, son, you know she just wide open. You got her, she's wide open. But this cat put it into a song, 3 verses, from when he first saw her, laid eyes on her, to when he knocking it down. But even then, it's like use a physical form if I'm hard to find, because now I know what's on your mind. He's letting them know, like, yo, I just want to know what's on your mind. By the end of the song, now I know what's on your mind. Come on, bro.
I mean, crazy. Right.
I'm ready to go listen to that joint right now. You have to leave with my wife at.
And then it's the classic old school dance, you know, like the summertime classic 80s, cats growing up in the 70s, you know, barbecue in the summertime in New York. The original track, I mean, it just wins for me, man. I love that joint right there. The whole song, the verses, everything.
Nah, that's classic rock.
Every piece mixes at the end of that shit's a little crazy, but other than that, it's my shit.
Yo, Ed, what's your second joint, bro?
My second joint, I'm gonna go to the left a little bit on this one. The second joint, I don't know if cats remember this track or you may or may not remember. Razzcast, On Earth as It Is in Heaven.
When you said Razzcast, I didn't know. When you said Raz, I'm out.
Oh, you remember Razzcast?
I've never heard anything from Razzcast that made me even stop. Like,
all right, so check this out. Shit, I've never seen an angel, virgin bitches with halos, but my secular metaphysical theology is fatal. Because me with the mic cable is a religious experience within itself. I got a message from God. He said, don't even try to fuck with me. Suckers reluctantly carry the cross and uppercuts in Nazareth. I'm hazardous. I speak to the heads and raise the dead like Lazarus. Led the fucking slam to the slaughter and walked on water when it's frozen. In the corn of thorns, I'm on point like a unicorn in I can't even get this shit out. In cuneiform. To bring rains to desert storm for 40 days to 39 nights. So my cerebral flows flood the earth with the megahertz, and the first shall be last and the last shall be first. Reciting a biblical verse before I make your melon verse. Like the nigga Jules from Pulp Fiction, my salvation is salivation. And diction crucifixion. It's a blessing just to live another day. They say the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. So my niggas pray 5 times a day and still carry a tray 5-7 on planet Earth. Now, I might have fucked it up saying that joint, but that's one of the nastiest verses I've heard from that cat. And when the track came out, that verse always stuck in my head.
What's the name of that joint?
It's called On Earth as It Is in Heaven. It was his first album, and I think it was like the B-side.
All right. I mean, for me, I never heard the joint personally, but I mean, I know Razzcast is a beast. I mean, I think the biggest thing with Raz is just his production for me just never really, you know, he never put together a solid album. There was always like you'd hear a single. I think the first time I heard him was up at 88.9 and they were playing a joint, Won't Catch Me Running, that had the Sade sample in it. And I know he did a joint with Primo, and there would be joints here and there that I'd hear and I'd be like, yeah, dude is nice, but it was just never that body of work that he put.
Actually, this came out before the album dropped. And when the album dropped, I didn't like it because of that reason. But this joint, the beat for it was nasty. I don't know who did the beat, but the beat was sick. And the verse, the way, like, I didn't do a good job as far as reading that joint, but the way he lays and rides that beat is nasty. It's pretty. And then the metaphors that he used, like what he's comparing, what he's like referencing is kind of dope. So, Razzcast On Earth as It Is in Heaven.
No doubt, I'm gonna have to go dig up that joint. You know, this is definitely gonna be one of them shows. And I knew you was gonna come with some stuff that was gonna have us digging.
I had to pull that. I had to pull it out.
Yo, JP, what you got on tap next?
So the next one I got is I'm gonna go with my man Jay-Z from Streets Is Watching, the third verse. One of my favorite verses of all time. It's crazy. So you know, I'm sure y'all all know it anyway, but it goes, my street mentality is flip bricks forever. You know, me and Money, we like on co-defendant, nigga, we stick together. Shit, whatever for this cheddar, ran my game into the ground. Hustle harder until secret indictment time came around. You can look up and down the street and I can't be found. Put in 24-hour shifts, but that ain't me now. Got a face too easy to trace, and niggas' mouths got slow leaks. Had to hire a team of workers, couldn't play those streets. Stay out of space like Mercury, you jerking me? Hectic. Had to call upon my wolves to send niggas the message and said this: let's play fair and we can stay here. I'm trying to transform you boys to men like daycare. Hey, there's money to be made and niggas got the picture. Stop playing with my paper and we got richer. Then hard times fell upon us. Half of my staff had warrants, the other half in the casket lay dormant. I felt like life was cheating me. For the first time in my life, I was getting money, but it was like my conscience was eating me. Was this a lesson God teaching me? Was he saying that? I was playing a game from hell, straight from which few came back. Like bad coke, pimp or die. Was my mind frame bad? Was niggas thick and simplified, turning cocaine crack? Ain't a whole lot of brain to that. Just trying to maintain a stack and not collide like two trains that's on a train track. But get my life together like the oils I bring back in the bottom of the pot where the water gets hot. Got my transporter, take it across the border, then stop to set up shop with a quarter of rock. Here's a plan. For 3 straight weeks, niggas slowed the block. But you know how the game is fooled. It fucked up me and my dude. One drop could wipe a nigga out faster than the cops. And this unstable way of living just had to stop. Half of my niggas got time. We done real things. By 94 came the subject of half of y'all niggas' rhymes. Public apologies of the families of those caught up in my shit. But that's the life of the lost souls brought up in this shit. The life and times of a nigga mind excited with crime. And the lavish luxuries just excited my mind. I figure shit, why risk myself and just write it in rhymes and let you feel me? And if you don't like it, then fine. The mind state of a nigga who boosted the crime rate so high in one city, they send National Guards to get me.
Shit, B.
Yeah, what's going on with yo?
Son, hey man, I'm trying to tell your cats about this nigga Jay-Z, man. Whatever you want to say about his content and all that, that nigga is the illest. I'm sorry.
That's a whole. We ain't getting into that show. Jay, what you saying?
Let me tell you something. When I mean this was you know, they put this on the second album, whatever. But after the first album, and this was a toss up between this verse and the second verse of the Evils for me. That was my toss up. But this verse to me, like, it always stuck in my mind. Like, I used to read it back and be like, yo, the nigga said by 94 we became the subject of half of y'all niggas' rhymes. Like, he was like, yeah, we was doing what y'all niggas was talking about. I mean, there's so much shit in here, man. Like, it was very visual, man. Like, and you know, he was a street nigga that used to, you know, do that thing. But it's like, and he put it up in here, and it's like, yo, that shit is. It was just an impressive verse to me, and it was mad. I felt like it was mad long, so it was dope to me.
It was, but it was crazy. It was worth it.
Yeah, street. I mean, that's you said. That's why I love this. You know, shows like this. Like I was telling her before we started, I was so excited to hear Cat's verses. You know what I mean? Because it was gonna make me reminisce. And I mean, I was just banging my That's the J mix when I was coming back from Philly this week, and then, I mean, just like you said, everything he was saying, you know, and the whole public apologies of the families of those caught up in my shit, like the way he was just spitting it, and the way, like I said, man, it's not too many who can touch Jay when he's focused and Streets is watching. Right. I forgot what the story was, but it was something like they was in D&D and Big was in one room and he had played something, and I think then Jay went in the other room and told Ski to punch up Streets is watching, and then Big was like, you know, I gotta go back in the lab. But that's that friendly competition that hip hop is missing, where you could be like, yo, listen to this, and a nigga be like, damn, you killed that. Let me go step my game up and do my thing. So yeah, definitely an ill verse. What you say about that, Al?
What can you say? Ain't nothing more to say. That's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
So Beezo, what you got, Big? I mean, I'm talking about the Streets is watching.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah, I said what I said. I mean, that's what I be talking about with Jay, man. I mean, and that didn't even. I mean, I know, like Jay just said, that's like one of your favorite shits, JP, but he got so many more. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I said, it's the subtleties, man, in the message, in the shit that you got to think for a split second. Oh, okay, that's what he's saying. Like, oh shit, and his subtleties is so ridiculous to me, bro. That's to me is what separates Jay from a lot of dudes, for real. Because he has a way where he sounds like an intelligent street dude, which is kind of what he is. He ain't no dummy, you know what I'm saying? Right. All of his ignorant lyrics or whatever, talking about crime and drugs and all that. Yo, Jay ain't no dummy. I think he's showing and proving that. You know what I'm saying? And it comes through in his lyrical, his ability to put words together with a flow, with subtleties and with like deep thought in shallow waters. Because that's what he be doing. He's talking about some real vain, shallow shit, but he gets so deep with it, with the analogies and the terminologies. This is like, damn, son, it just hurt niggas' feelings, dog.
Right.
I mean, there ain't much else to say about that shit, man.
Alright, for my next joint, we're gonna go a spin-off of Nas. We're gonna go with the Nas disciple, the boy AZ, off of Life's a Bitch. First from that. I mean, we all know it, but visualizing the realism of life and actuality, fuck who's the best, a person's status depends on salary. And my mentality is money that being straight, and I'm destined to live the dream for all my peeps who never made it, because yeah, we in the beginners in the hood is 5%ers, but something must have got in of us, because all of us turn to sinners. Now some of us is resting in peace, and some are sitting there saying Quentin. Others, such as myself, are trying to carry on tradition, keeping the street S and street ghetto S's inside us, because it provides with the proper light to guide us. Even though we know somehow we all gotta go, but as long as we leave them thieving, we'll be leaving with some kind of dose. So till that day we expire and turn to vapors, me and my capers, we somewhere stacking plenty papers, keeping it real, packing still getting high. Life's the bitch, and then you die. And I think for me the funniest thing was this is kind of like what JP was saying with whatchamacallit, if I ruled the world. I was like the one person on the planet Earth who didn't like Life's a Bitch. I mean, because it was just a loop, and I felt like it was like you had all this other stuff, One Love and everything like that, and it was just like, yo, man, it's just dude just looped up Gap Band, yearning for my love. So I was never a big fan of the song. I mean, lyrically, AZ and Nas slaughtered it, but just the way that AZ came in, I mean, I don't know, I'm not saying this is, but that was like maybe one of the illest introductions from an MC to the world. Like that verse, the fact that he was right there. I mean, I may have to say that I like A's verse better than Nas's verse, which may be sacrilegious to say of something that happened in '94, but it was just such a, I don't know if there's been an iller intro, as I'm a new MC, y'all have never heard of me, but I'm gonna get on here with the best MC right now at the time and be on some old what Nas say, Eminem slaughtered you on your own shit. I ain't saying AZ slaughtered Nas, but AZ got at his heels on that joint.
Let me ask you a question about that then, Kill. Because I agree with you, but my question is, because Nas got the verse of the month?
Yeah, he got the quote of the month for that.
Quote of the month, yeah, for the Life's a Bitch joint. How you feel about this? Because when I seen it, I was like, because
when I saw it, it was bugged because I just was like, I don't get it. Like, I don't get how you could pick that verse over AZ's verse for a verse of the month, because I just personally felt that A's verse was better. I mean, A's, and the funny thing about it is I never really realized how short it was until I just read it compared to other stuff that I'm reading. Like, this is a crazy short verse, you know what I mean? And that made me even like it even more, that he got so much oomph into such a short period of time. But I mean, yeah, to me, if there's a quotable out of that song, it's A's and not Nas. And that's no diss to Nas, or not like that. What you say, JP?
I mean, you it's not sacrilegious, because a lot of people think that AZ had the better verse. Like, so that's not far-fetched at all. You know what I'm saying? I mean, both of them did their thing on it, but like you said, like nobody knowing who AZ was at the time. We had heard of Nas from, the songs before the album came out and stuff like that. But hearing him, I remember hearing that song for the first time. I'm like, yo, this kid is nice. Like Nas, all his friends are nice, just like him. It's like one of them type of things. So, but AZ got busy on it. Like, it's definitely a memorable verse, and I didn't even realize that he had got, Nas had got quoted a month over AZ for that. Like, that's a little crazy, but you kind of understand why. It's just more than a nice verse. It was Nas. Nas was, that dude at the time. So, but that verse is crazy. So it's not sacrilegious at all. That's a good choice right there.
What you got, Beezo? What you think of that? The AZ joint.
I mean, yeah, I agree with all of what y'all said, especially what you said about in terms of the way the song starts, the way his verse starts. He just gets bang right in the head with the big words and the ill flow and all that. And then for that to be his coming out party, his first joint, his debut joint, it was just like, oh shit. Like JP just said, it's like, yo, this whole team is crazy with LMCs. So when you heard that, I know I wasn't the only one, but I'm sure everyone else was like waiting, like, yo, this AZ album, oh my God, I can't wait to hear what this cat got.
Right.
Of course, we were all disappointed by what his career turned into, but that's something else. But in terms of that verse and that song, yeah, same here. I think he outdid Nas on that. I think Nas got that on Reputation, because Source Magazine, let's not forget, before Illmatic ever dropped, they had him on the cover talking about the second coming. And they were saying the second coming of Rakim, for all y'all that didn't know that. But they was calling him the second coming. So whether you want to say that they already had mad love for Nas, I do think Nas got it on the strength of him being Nas at the time, and AZ being, I won't say a nobody, but you know, he kind of was. Nobody had heard of the cat. But yeah, I 100 that AZ killed it. He killed the song. Not the shit on Nas' verse, because it was dope, but just AZ's was just like, damn. Like, that shit was crazy.
All right, what you got, Beezo? What's your second joint?
I know I'm about to hear from Ev.
Hopefully no
Talking
joke.
about Kim joint, and he's talking about the shorty, and it's the shit, my shit mahogany. But
you know what? I was going. Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay, because it's not because he's talking about the shorty, but there's one line, and when I get to it, I'm gonna have to just stop it right there because there's no point going any further with it. But just from the first verse, let's start from the top. Me and Eric B was cooling at the Palladium. I seen her all-world cover girl. I said, hey, lady, I'm sorry if you're in a rush. Don't let me hold you up or intervene or interrupt, but you got the look. I want to get to know you better. I had to let her know, but yo, I didn't sweat her, because if you would have seen what I was seeing, almost looked Korean, but European. Well, hold up. Yo, I know mad dudes that, like guard body cats, that was a little funny about that. They didn't like that when he said European. They took it to mean like it was a white chick and, you know, Rob being guard body, but whatever. And then he goes on.
There's a whole lot of light-skinned chicks in that video, though.
Yeah. He says, he goes on, when she spoke, her accent was self-explanatory. Even her body language told the story. Her name was Mahogany. Twins' name was Ebony. I said, my name is Rob, and this is Eric B. Since the music was loud, I said, let's take a walk so we could talk and see New York. Showtime didn't start until 1 o'clock. And once I enter, here it comes. Once I enter your mind, I wasn't gonna stop. Caressing your thoughts till we was thinking the same. Calm your nerves, massage your brain. Each moment's a mineral. Poetry is protein. The verse is a vitamin and affects like codeine. That's right there, son. So, who has ever said anything remotely crazy, ill like that? To put them analogies, the nigga said each moment is a mineral. The poetry is protein. The verse, the whole thing, is a vitamin and affects like codeine. Oh, God, that is crazy. Yeah. That's crazy. That's it. I could go on, but there's plenty more, but that's enough, man. Word up.
That's one of my favorite ride joints right there. I mean, the beat was crazy.
Beat was crazy.
The whole break, and yeah, I mean, it was just. I mean, I don't.
Yo, wait, yo, I'm sorry, man. It's been a while. Can you give me the rest of that shit? Because there's something else in there.
Well, yeah, he goes on after that. He's like, so tell me how you feel and I'll reveal a pill that'll heal your pain, because I'm real. She must have OD'd because she couldn't resist. She spoke slowly when she told me this. She said, over me. She's going crazy. She rubbing you on my chest and calling me
Mr. Sexy.
My name's B. Tell me I ain't finesse with Harmony. Come on, son.
Yeah.
Come on, son. Yo, Rob was the craziest with it.
That shit was crazy.
Yeah. JP, what you think about that mahogany joint?
Yo, like you said, Kill, the beat was crazy. The rim shot and all that, and the verse, that was one of my favorite rock songs too. And I gotta respect you, Beezo, for your first two joints to be hip hop love songs.
That's Ghost Diddy right there, man.
But you know what, Ev? I think you might have been waiting for the beginning of the second verse.
That's crazy. I wasn't gonna say it because I was like, I ain't gonna keep pushing it. Because I'm in my mind, I'm like, dude,
I mean, real quick, let me let the world know what the man said.
Yeah, please, brother.
Say, so I prescribed her something to revive her, surprise her. She's liver and much more wiser than the light I shine with my brain cells spark. Come to me so we can glow in the dark, and soon you could represent the moon. As long as I keep it in tune, I tell you who you are and why you're here. Take it in stride, cause it might take a year. Come on, I mean that's straight God body speak with. Damn, son, woo. That nigga put it down, son. Word up.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right, Ev, who you got next on for your third joint?
Oh, we skipped my man. Did you do number two?
They had the Jay-Z joint.
Yeah, I had the Jay-Z
joint.
That's
right. All right, damn, number 3. Shit, y'all came with some shit, cuz, no, man. Dang, I'm looking at my list kind of sideways now.
Nah, come on, man. You wasn't the MC.
All right, I'm gonna pull. All right, I'm gonna pull one out. This is I always talk about this verse. Actually, no, I ain't gonna go there yet. I'm gonna go to this one. I think this is probably one of the dopest verses I've ever heard. And I'm just gonna say the verse, and we can talk about who it is afterwards.
Okay.
I get mad frustrated when I rhyme, thinking of all these kids that try to do this for all the wrong reasons. Seasons change, mad things rearrange, but it all stays the same like the love Doctor Strange. I'm tame like the rapper. Get red like a snapper when they do that. Got your whole block singing true that. If only they knew that. It was you who was a regular. Sold your soul for some secular. Muzak is whack, push you use that. Loop over and over, claiming that you got a new style. Your attempts are futile, ooh child. You're puerile, brainwaves and sterile. You can't create, you just wait to take my tapes. Laced with malice, hands get callous from gripping microphones from here to dollars. Go ask Alice if you don't believe me. I get individuals like Stevie, see me, ascend from the childless like we'd be. Indeed, like Khaled Muhammad. MCs make me vibe, but I can controversial. Freaky style with no rehearsal. Ooh, contraire, mon frere. Don't you even go there. Me without a mic is like a beat without a snare. I dare to tear into your ego. We go way back like some ganja and Palico or Calico vision. My mind makes decisions in your anatomy. And now this is my favorite shit. And I back this with Deuteronomy. Or Leviticus, God made these words. You can't get with this. Sweet like licorice, dangerous like syphilis. Yeah. Whew.
That's how many mics, right?
Yes, that's Lauryn Hill. How many mics? One of the nastiest verses. And just given in such a feminine way, but that shit was still like poison.
Yeah.
Fire.
I mean, El Bug was a problem. I mean, Lauren was always a problem, man. Like she was the I don't even. Yeah, I'm just stuck. I mean, you talking about a chick who could, bang with the big boys with no problem. Hold her own in the cipher with no problem, and probably walk away stepping over some niggas. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, L Bugs. Beezo, what you got on Lauren?
I mean, I think I might have told the story before when me and Shy did a joint for her. At one point, she went back into the green room, whatever, and she wasn't feeling the way her voice was sounding singing. So we go in there and we bring in some warm water with a lemon and all that. And just talking to her, and she pulls out her rhyme book and starts spitting. She spit like 3 or 4 verses from different joints she had written that hadn't been out yet, and she was unsure about each one of these verses because she wanted to use one of them for the joint we was doing. And me and Shy was sitting there looking at each other like, how was she unsure? Like, not unsure like which one to use, but if it's good enough. Every verse I heard, and I told her this at that time. That's when Rod Digger was just coming out, and actually we had done some stuff through Roots for Rod Digger, like her demo and shit. And I told her at the time, I said, "Yo, Ma, if you and Rod Digger formed a two girl group, y'all would kill 90% of these male MCs right now." And mind you, remember, this is when Wu and Nas and we talking about the height of hip hop. And it wasn't hyperbole. It wasn't me stroking the ego. It was 100% real because I had already heard enough from her to know she was nice. But then when I heard that shit in the room with her out the rhyme book, I was like, oh my God, yo, this chick is nice. So like she's like a dope lyricist. Now I hate to put labels like a dope female rapper. No, she's just a dope
lyricist.
Yeah.
What you say about L Books, JP?
I mean, I really can't say much. She's one of the best MCs to ever come out. Like, I think for me, I mean that verse is just like a little portion of what she can do. Like I was probably one of the few people that was disappointed with the miseducation of Lauryn Hill because I wanted more verses.
Yeah, she was spitting enough.
So
more music than you wanted, yeah.
But hearing Ev spit that, man, like I haven't heard that joint in a minute, and it's like, oh, I gotta listen to
that. And the beat was crazy too.
Right.
And even like, yo, there's a part in there where the flow, I forget where it's at, but like the flow goes perfect with the like.
Yeah, exactly.
Flowing like the beat sounds like, damn, L, come on, son. She hurts him, man. She's nice with it, bro.
Yeah, dope. Just dope.
All right, JP, who you got up next?
Next, I'm gonna go down south to my man Andre 3000. This was actually a Big Boy joint that he was featured on, him and Raekwon, called Royal Flush.
Right.
Oh, this verse, like when I first heard this verse, man, I was just like, yo,
man.
So, pardon me for messing it up, but you know, because I might mess it up, but the verse is crazy. So it starts. Styles will change. They say change is dangerous. As a king standing on the terrace, while his partner pointing up at the rifleman. Coward shooter, never know when your life will end. Then live like there ain't no morrow, and if one come, then this be tomato. Now I put a message in bottle. You go to the nearest beach and open the car door and walk to the place where the sea meets the land. Yeah, it's easier to run the street than walk in the sand. Hey, I'm talking, yo man, as it's chalk in my hand. I'll take y'all little ass to school. It's cool when the kids call me Sonny, the hood call me Stacks, the bees call me Honey, Hollywood calls me back. Crack and I have a lot in common. We both come up in the A's and we keep their bass pumping. That's a negative comparison, embarrassing. Unfortunate that if you come up fortunate, the streets consider you lame. I thought the name was the game, was to have a better life. I guess it ain't, what a shame. I don't slang, never slung, but I'm one with the slum that has a name well fitting. Plenty cheese getting, no wonder why they call it the trap. So watch your tail, and I'm not kidding. The rats and mice will give advice, say you can paint and draw. Get out of here, go show them that we're more than sling and raw. That's when I broke into my Big Rube impression and tried to enlighten, but the night I learned a lesson, and the morals that you think you got go out the window when all the other kids are fresh and they got new Nintendo Wii's, and your child is down on her knees praying hard up to God for a Whopper and cheese. Do you B, hit the street hard with a flare, or do you A, go to school for heating and air? Dare make an honest living, or make a crooked killing, or do a bit of both until you're holding on a million? Brilliant. You got one foot in, one foot out. You put your left foot back in, then you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey till you turn your life around, and that's what it's all about. 3000 out.
Pause for a second.
Yeah, okay.
Talk about why you picked. Pause for a sec, because my next joint is the Andre 3000 joint.
Okay.
So I'm going to spit this joint, and then we're just going to go in on 3000.
Okay, go ahead.
So my 3000 joint was off Return of the Gangster, off of Criminal album.
Right.
When it says it's the return of the gangster, thanks to the niggas that be on that blow that run up in your crib with contaminating an 8-month-old child to raise, plus you true blue about this music, but they don't want to hear it because they rather be bouncing and shooting and killing and bouncing and shit, get down. Return of the gangster, thanks to the niggas that think you soft and say you be gospel rapping, but they be steady clapping when they talking about bitches and switches and hoes and clothes and weed. Let's talk about time traveling, rhyme jabbling, something minor rattling, get down. Return of the gangster, thanks to them niggas who got them kids that got enough to bounce to buy an ounce, but not enough to bounce them kids to the zoo or to the park, so they grow up in the dark, never seeing light, till they end up being like your sorry ass, robbing niggas and broad ass daylight, get down. Return of the gangster, thanks to them niggas that get the wrong impression of expression. Then the question is, big boy, what's up with Andre? Is he in a cult? Is he on drugs? Is he gay? When y'all gonna break up? When y'all gonna wake up? Nigga, I'm feeling better than ever. What's wrong with you? You get down. That nigga is so fucking dangerous. But JP, go in on the Royal Flush joint for you.
I mean, you know, I remember hearing this song on the radio one day. I was driving home from work and I was like, yo. And the funny thing is, Big Boy and Raekwon's verses are mad short. And it seemed like they was like, you go ahead. You go for it. Because this verse is mad long when he's spitting. And I mean, he's so vivid. Like the part when he was like, when he said all the other kids are fresh and they got new Nintendo Wii's, and your child is down on her knees praying hard up to God for a Whopper with cheese. Like it's just like, it's like, yo, he is so vivid. He's lyrically, I feel like it's effortless with him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Almost like, you know, he writes these things like it comes straight from his head, like, and he puts it down like what's going on in the street, and you know what I'm saying? It's very conscious, so to speak, or whatever. So I mean, and plus he's, you know, lyrically he's so much better than Big Boy to me. I mean, I know some people, you know what I'm saying, they feel away about that, but I mean, it's obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't disrespect the Big Boy, but yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the funny thing was, it was a point, I think it was up until Aquemini, I felt they were kind of like neck and neck, like they were sparring. But I felt like Aquemini, that nigga just took off. And I mean, I know a lot of cats may say, nah, from the door I knew he was better. But for me, I always was like, yo, I liked Outkast because I was like, to me, there was really nobody who was better than the other one. But like, when this Return of the Gangster came on and this set off Aquemini, I mean, I just remember being at 88.9 and me and my man Jay just sitting there like, yo, the shit this nigga is saying, man. Like, yo, like, you got enough to buy an ounce, but not enough to bounce them kids to the zoo and to the park so they grow up in the dark, never seeing light, till they end up being like your sorry ass, robbing niggas in broad ass daylight, get, like, you know, and then the way he even kicked it with, you know, them niggas that get the wrong impression of expression, and the question is, Big Boy, what's up with Andre? Is he in a cult? Is he on drugs? Is he gay? When y'all gonna break up? Then that nigga says, when y'all gonna wake up? Nigga, I'm feeling better than ever. What's wrong with you? Like, it's like, yo, ain't no wrong with me. Yeah, I dress a little crazy, nigga. I ain't gay. I ain't in no cult, nigga. I'm good. Like, what's wrong with you? Like,
yeah, you know what them cats reminded me of? They always have is Pound South, Mobb Deep. Just in terms of, like, for me, I always looked at Dre being like P and Have and Big Boy being the same. Have, I think, got better as they went on, much better lyrically. But the thing with Andre, and again, I'll keep 100. I've never bought an entire, album of theirs ever. But I know enough of their songs like that. I have enough of their songs. And the thing I like about Dre, and I think you kind of said it, JP, is like, yo, this cat, it just feels like he puts the pen in his chest and just bap, and it's just right from the heart. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, this is that real shit. You know what I mean? It's authentic. And he's intelligent, and he has a way of putting shit together. That shit you just said, Kill, when he's talking to these cats, like, that's some real shit. This cats that right now need to hear that shit.
right.
Now, whether or not they can keep up with it and realize the message he's sending is a whole other story, but I love his intelligence in his lyrics, and he's not afraid, cats talking all like he's gay, he's this or that, whatever, man. Whatever, man. I'm not concerned with that. As an artist, as a musician, as a lyricist, the nigga's nice. You know what I mean? And that's all that matters to me about the cat, man. That nigga is mad nice. And again, that comes from someone who's never bought one of their albums.
I just gotta add real fast, because Andre he's in my top 5. I think that cat, just take him outside of even Outkast, just as a lyricist, his honesty, his perception, the way he paints the picture, the way he tells, actually not even the way he paints the picture, the way he tells the story, the ghetto story, like the hood story, because he tells it from a way of not necessarily glorifying, which a lot of cats do, but he tells it in a way where you can understand and you can relate. The cat, man, I think is like, he's superbly gifted. I was reading an article, Kill, that you sent me about him saying that he might stop, he might keep going, not really sure what he's gonna do. That's the type of cat that can write children books for my kids. And I read, you know what I mean? Just the same way he writes today. Just because it's so much truth in his words. And I've never seen nobody really do it the way that he does that. He's just in his own little niche with that thing. But yeah, that cat is ridiculous on so many different levels.
And I think, JP, one of my favorite lines from that Royal Flush, and I don't know exactly how it goes, but when he says, like a king standing on a balcony, with his partner shooting at the yeah,
it's crazy.
He's crazy dude. Beezo, who you got for your third joint?
My third one, I'm gonna actually go a little bit down south, a whole lot of down south, I guess, surprisingly enough. And it's my man Jay Electronica, man.
Okay.
That Exhibit C joint, I think it's the last. I don't know if it's the last verse or second verse.
Right.
Where he goes in and I just go right into it. They call me Jay Electronica. Fuck that. Call me Jay Elect Hanukkah. Jay Elect Yarmulke. Jay Elect Ramadan Muhammad Assalamaka Rasul Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala through your monitor. 2 ways a ton, check the barometer. I'm hotter than the motherfucking sun, check the thermometer. I'm bringing ancient mathematics back to modern man. My mama told me never throw a stone and hide your hand. You got a lot of family, you got a lot of fans. That's why the people got my back like the Verizon man. I play the back and fade to black and then devise a plan. Out in London smoking, vibing while I ride the tram. giving out that raw food to lions disguised as lambs. And by the time they get their seats hot and deploy all their henchmen to come get me from the treetops, I'm chilling out of tweet stock, building by the millions. My light is brilliant. Come on, my whole with hip hop, man, is yo. I love cats that can show some intellect in their verse, man. You know what I'm saying? They can show they read something, they study something, they know something. And like early in the song, he mentions like Nikola Tesla, Marcus Garvey. You ask the average hood walking down the street, yo, you know who Nikola Tesla is? They have no idea. This cat, they know who Albert Einstein is. They know who the other cat, I forget his name, who's a General Electric cat, who he stole all the Tesla shit. But they don't know who this cat is. Greatest mind in the modern history on the low. But Jay Electronica is not afraid to show you what he knows, man, and I respect it. And he's from, where is it, New Orleans or some shit? Mm-hmm. I love that about that cat. And like we said in the other show, I'm waiting on that album patiently. Like I said to these cats last night, because I don't know if you've seen, Kel, I sent you a joint. The Jizza's finally coming out with that documentary.
Oh, no. You sent it to me? I
think I did. I may not have, because I was checking it out. I got caught up in
Say it again?
The Jizza is finally. Remember I told y'all Jizza has all this footage from all the years on the road. Like he recorded everything. And finally he's announced that he's about to release a documentary that's been like over 10 years coming. And he has a clip. I'll send it to cats on Facebook. But if you look at the comments, a bunch of cats is like, by the time to come out, we'll all be dead and this and that, blah, blah. And I'm like, yo, you know what? Y'all cats keep sitting back, eating that fast food, White Castle murder meat music that happens like that. I'm gonna sit back comfortably in my 5-star restaurant and wait for this A-class meal that's marinated. It's a slow marinade, and it's gonna taste good, and I'm gonna feel it for days in my belly. So y'all keep eating that fast food murder meat shit. I'm gonna sit back and be patient and wait for this shit. And you see the clip, it's just regular footage. They're like in somebody's crib, and niggas is beefing, arguing about shit. And Meth is talking about how, you know, when he's on stage, they call him Wu-Tang. They're not calling him Method Man. So it's about the collective. It ain't about me. But I say all that to say, to me, people out there calling themselves hip-hop fans, but yet you run and hide when your artist doesn't come out with a song every few months, every 6 months, and it ain't as dope as you demand it to be. Yo, every day ain't sunny. Some days is cool, some days is warm, some days is freezing cold, some days is dumb, uncomfortable hot. So I'm willing to take the dumb cold and the dumb hot because I know I'm going to get that fall, spring temperature with a nice cool breeze because these cats are showing and proving that the majority of their work is going to be that for me. You know what I mean? So that's why I still anticipate Wu-Tang, Raekwon, Ghost, Jay Electronica, and not be mad at these cats for not dropping some new shit every 6 months. Take your time, let that shit marinate, and do the right thing with the shit, man. Don't keep coming out with this shit like you hustling on the corner, man. Well, that's what messed up hip-hop, you ask me.
All right. Ev, what you got on that Jay Electronica joint?
Yo, man, I got to give a lot of that to that cat. For the simple fact is, he came from New Orleans, and that's where he started his journey at. But he's like the cat. He's like when the Jizza on Liquid Swords, when he talks about getting on the ferry and battling cats, battling MCs on the ferry. To me, MC can be like a walk, man. It's like the Wild West and shit. Like, you know what I mean? And to me, that's how it was back in the day. You'd be out there and cats would know who you were. They may know you from rhyming in some type of cipher somewhere. They might have heard your name or something like that. So when he says in that verse, he says something. I don't know if he says I'll be at the studio, but he says Broad Street, Master, North Philly, South Philly, 33rd Task. I was like, oh,
let you know, get around.
That shows that he's been around. Like, yeah, I'm from down here, but I've been here. I've been over here, just building. And that's really what, if an MC if this shit was the Wild West, the MCs would be like cowboys and shit, and the motherfuckers would be just roaming around, just building your skill. Like, actually, not even. Actually, I'm gonna take that back. It's shit like samurai, cause they'll just be going out and just building their skill. So right. I got to give it to that cat, man, just to show him the fact that he not only is he nice, but he just when he said that, it just gave more depth. Not because it's home based, but it's like, yo, I'm also over here doing this, and I'm also over here doing this. Like, I'm an MC for real. So
yo, Ev, I was looking at that part when you're talking about, and he's like, abracadabra, you're rocking with the true and living. Shout out to Lights Out, Joseph I, Chewy Bivens. Shout out to Baltimore, Baton Rouge, my crew in Richmond. While y'all debating who the truth was like Jews and Christians.
Yes.
I was on Cecil B, Broad Street, Max, North Philly, South Philly, 3rd Chapter.
And that's the thing that right there is what got me, because when he said Cecil B more, I'm like, yo, dude from Philly, because
exactly
the who ain't from Philly ain't gonna know
the streets. Unless
you don't even call it Cecil B more. If you weren't even from there, you wouldn't even call it Cecil B more. Like,
right. You only right.
In the beginning, though. Even on the beginning when he talk, he lets you know, and that's why I love like some cats. I think you mentioned it, Kill. Some cats hold it against P that he ain't from Queensbridge, but he reps Queensbridge. This nigga lets you know from the door he's from New Orleans. I'm not trying to front like I'm from here, there. I'm from New Orleans, but I'd have been all over the place. He starts out in the very beginning talking about sleeping on Mersall Avenue out in the rain without a single slice of pizza to my name. Too proud to beg for change, mastering the pain when New York niggas was calling Southern rappers lame, but then jacking our slang. I mean, come on, man. Yo, the nigga, cats don't know, and this is like Exhibit C, and what was it, Exhibit A or whatever, the B-side or whatever. A lot of cats think that's his first shit, but he had a whole album on MySpace. That's how he got big enough that people were starting to check for him. You know what I mean? It was his MySpace shit.
Right.
Nigga nice, yo.
What do you think about that, JP?
I mean, that's one of my favorite joints from him. Exhibit C is crazy. Exhibit A was ill too. This exhibit that was one of the joints too. But I mean, he's one of them dudes, like, he keeps me excited about hip hop, man. Like like Beezo was saying, he doesn't come out with stuff every so often, and people are, they keep. I see comments on certain joints about him online about drop the album, hurry up, drop the album. And I understand, the dude is that nice, but you gotta respect him for anytime he drops something, people pay attention because they know he's spitting some real stuff, and people are still attracted to that, man. And that verse proves that type of stuff.
Right. All right, Ed, what's your fourth joint?
I'm gonna go to my man, Jizza the Genius. And this is
the same way I knew Beezo had a G-Rap. I knew you had.
I got a genius in here. This is kind of crazy because I'm pulling off of the same album from the Verbal Intercourse joint, from the Built from Cuban Links.
Mm-hmm.
The nigga don't get mad. I got mad styles of my own, and it's shown with my hands grip the chrome microphone. Verbally, I catch bodies with cordless shotties. Intriguing them seeds, I keep them trained like bodies. I bomb facts. My sword is an axe. The split back is visible. Like a dope thing track, sky's the limit. Niggas are timid, and nobody knows how we move like wolves and sheep code producing data. Microchips and software. Underground and all fair, the land of the North. The land of the laws, notorious henchmen from the North, striking niggas with a Mason-Dixon line cross. It's not even a long verse, but the thing about this joint.
What's that joint?
This is off of Guillotine Swords. He's already at the end. This is like the joint where I think it's him, Ghostface is on the joint, Raekwon is on the joint. Spectre Deck is on the joint, and he's last. It's not even. I don't think this is even a full 16. But it's the way his metaphors, man. It's nasty. Like, what I mean, like with my hands grip the chrome, like the chrome microphone. Verbally catch bodies like cordless shotties, like a mic. You treat them seeds and keep them trained like bodies. Like dude is just, I don't know, man. There's so much I can say about this cat. But this is one of them verses off that album I thought was just sick, and the beat is ridiculous. And when he comes in, he shuts it down. Like, it's just done. It's done when he finishes. It's just done.
Yeah, I always felt like this was the most lyrical out the group. You know what I mean? Maybe not necessarily my favorite dude, but like when it came time for that penny game, I knew, like you said, the samurai type analogy. He the type of nigga who got the sharpest sword. You know what I mean? So I definitely Jizza. I mean, a beast. What you think, JP?
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, I always felt that Jizza was the most lyrical one. But I'm not too familiar with that verse, but hearing you spit it, it's like, okay, I need to go revisit Raekwon's album and listen to that joint again. But it's dope. It's interesting that two of the joints you picked so far are guest verses. That's ill too. You know what I'm saying? That's something to be said. So that's dope though. I'm always a fan of the Jizza though.
Yeah, what you got, Beezo? What you think of that Jizza joint?
It's the Jizza. He's just the genius, as I like to call him. You know what I'm saying? But I will have to disagree with y'all a little bit. To me, my favorite cat out the womb lyrically is what's his name, Spectre Deck.
Deck is Deck. Yeah,
I give you that.
Deck is ill because Deck has that ability. The Jizza's like mad intellectual with some of his joints. Like I forget, was it Liquid Swords when he said this shit about through radios and tunnels or some shit like a funnel, something about like feminine like sandals, like shit like that. It's like damn Jizza, that's just old and shit, yo. But for me, the Inspector Deck out the crew was always the nicest to me. He could kind of walk lines and dropping some ill shit and being hood at the same time. But yeah, the Jizza, I love that cat, man. That's my Liquid Sword, his album, his solo album, the first joint. I mean,
yeah,
that's a classic right there to me. No. That's one of the best joints ever to me.
All right, JP, who you got next?
For the fourth one, I'm gonna do like Beezo, how he did with Rob for What's on Your Mind. This whole song, man, if it could just be one verse, that's what I would need from Rakim. I think this is one of my favorite hip hop songs of all time. Every verse is perfect. Like, I couldn't just pick one. And it's Juice, Know the Ledge. Yo.
Exactly, man.
But I had so many Rakim verses. I said, no, let me read that.
Yeah, like this. The beat was crazy. The video was dope. I mean, it was, they had clips of the movie, but
he had the snorkel on and shit.
Yeah. I mean, it was perfect. And the song tells a story. You know what I'm saying? It tells a story and it breaks it down. I'm gonna just go right here with the third verse. Shells lay around on the battleground. Dead bodies are found throughout the town. Try to put shame in my game to make a name. I'm gonna put it on a bullet and put it in your brain. Rip the block like a buckshot. Who cares where it goes? Just keep the casket closed. No remorse when the life is lost. I paid my dues. I paid the cost. And my pockets are still fat. Wherever I'm at, I get the welcome at. Even if my crew is steep or one deep, I attract attention. People like to peep. So come say hi to the bad guy. Don't say goodbye. I don't plan to die. Cause I get loose and I got troops. And crazy juice in control of many. Like Ayatollah Khomeini. Hang out with Swift and Wesson. Don't try to play me. I'm at war a lot. Like Anwar Sadat. But no wanting a shot. My gun's warm a lot. When I cook beef, the smoke will never clear. Areas in fear, but this here's severe. Living life too close to the edge. Hoping that I know the ledge. Like, yo.
Right there for a second, because I'm going to come. My joint was the first verse.
Yeah. Give me that.
Was, sip the juice, I got enough to go around. And that thought takes place uptown. I grew up on the sidewalk where I learned the street talk and then talk to Hawk, New York. I go to Queens for Queens. Get the crew from Brooklyn. Make money in Manhattan and never been tooken. Go uptown in the Bronx and boogie down. Get strong in the island, recoup and lay around. Time to build my juice back up. Props back up. Suckers get smacked up. Don't doubt the clout. You know what I'm about. Knocking niggas off, knocking niggas out. Shaking them up, waking them up, raking them up, breaking them up. Standing on shaky ground too close to the edge. Let's see if I know the ledge.
Woo! Can I just add one thing in there, man? Because I don't have the verse in front of me. But the third verse, anyone of y'all had the third verse?
That's what I just spit. Because it had 4 verses. It had 4 verses.
With what's the joint where he says something about bystanders? What do you say? Fucking
Hold on.
The streets are the place for innocent bystanders to stand.
That's the second one. That's the second verse.
That's the second verse. Okay.
Yeah.
Yo, man, that fucking song is ridiculous.
It's the perfect song. It tells each verse it's a part of a big story. The beat is crazy. The scratches is crazy. It's the perfect song. Even the last verse, like he's like, girl, sip the style and whisper my name. I push up like an exercise. Check the intellect and inspect the thighs.
Nigga said I
like the best one, pull him to the side, keep her occupied for the rest of the ride. Reading my resume, she know I'm ready, cool. Just meet me after school. His verse is crazy, son.
Yo, son, I don't even know what verse this is. The way they got it written on this joint, but nigga says corners trifling cause shorties here. I get cocked in for 40. 53, that's the feast. If I get revenge, then rest in peace. Somebody's got to suffer. I just might spare one. And I give a brother a fair one. Say 11 P's and I'll do work with
these like Hercules.
Left to right jaw, yeah.
I don't like you.
These brothers try to bomb me. Come on, man.
Yo, Rakim, man, the God MC, son.
Putting brothers to rest like Elliot Ness, because I don't like stress. Streets ain't a place for innocent bystanders to stand. Nothing's gonna stop the plan. I'll chill like Pacino, kill like De Niro, Black Gambino, die like a hero.
Yeah, he was a monster. All right, Beezo, who you got for your fourth joint?
Yeah, sir. Hold on. Let me get it together for a second. You got this cat. So I'm gonna take it to my next illest cat. You know what I'm saying? He number 3 on my list of greatest MCs of all time. And if you asked for him, you got him. Cool G Rap, baby. New York. I was gonna say Talk Like Sex, but I want to keep this. You know.
Wait. Did you say G Rap is your number 3 of greatest MCs of all time?
Yes.
I thought he was your number 1.
No. I said no. I mean, I said Jay was the nicest.
Oh, that's right. Between Jay and Big, and then G Rap.
Yeah, then Ra, then G Rap, then Big, and I only say because Big because we ain't seen him long enough to see his evolution.
Gotcha.
But in Streets of New York, man, I mean, this is for me. It's part of it is just the timing, but this is when I came to Morgan when this song popped off. So being down in Baltimore, and this song was like even on the Baltimore radio station, they was playing this song, and then DC tried to flip it. The radio station tried to flip it in the streets of DC. Like, come on, son, stop it. But my man G-Rap went on to say, in the streets of New York, dope fiends are leaning for morphine. The TV screen follows the homicide scene. You live here, you're taking a chance. So I'm looking to take one glance as a man inside an ambulance. Crowds are getting louder. I wonder how the people want to go fight for the white powder. People hanging in spots. They waited till the blocks got hot and got raided by the cops. I'll explain to the man sleeping in the rain. His whole life remains inside a bottle of night train. Another man got his clothes in a sack, cause he spent every dime of his rent playing blackjack. And there's her poor little sister. She has a little baby daughter named Sonia, and Sonia has ammonia. So why's the mother in the club? What? They fucked it up. So why's the mother in the club pulling zippers? Yeah, that's her job. Sonia's mommy is a bar stripper. Drug dealer drive around looking hard, knowing they're sending their brothers and sisters to the graveyard. Every day is a main event. Some old lady limps. The pushers and pimps, she shrimps. It gets tiring. The sound of a gun firing. There must desire from the sound of a siren. A bag lady dies in the alleyway. She seen the last of her days inside the subways. More and more down the slope. Kid couldn't cope, so he stole somebody's dope and a gold rope. Now my son's on the run. He's the one that wanna have fun that was done by the shotgun. Upstairs, I cover my ears in tears. The man downstairs must have drank too many beers. Cause every day of his life he beats his wife. Till one night she decides to pull a butcher knife. That's it, man. Come on, man.
Deep.
Come on, man.
G-Rap, son.
That nigga got so real, so vivid. Again, there was never a video for it, but
right.
It's like you could just picture a dude just walking through the hood and just seeing all this shit. And any of us that grew up in any type of hood situation seen almost everything he said on some level at some point in our lives growing up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like he just hit the shit on the head. And then, like I said, part of it was the timing because it was when I first got to Morgan. And this was probably the hottest track, or if not the one, it definitely was one, if not the hottest track that everybody was playing at the time, man.
Right. Yeah, it's funny with G-Rap, I mean, one of the greatest that ever did it. I think one of my favorite G-Rap verses was that Men at Work joint. You know, off the Poison Act. Just I remember being on my man's school basement. I think that was the first time I just heard somebody rhyme so long. Like it was like, yo, this dude just kept going. Like it wasn't, you know. So, but yeah, you can't say nothing bad about G-Rap. Definitely one of the best. What you think, JP?
Yeah, that was a great verse. That song, I vividly remember that song and hearing it, and I always thought that the beat was real musical too for rap. Like and it was smooth, but he was telling stories that was ill, man. That verse was dope, man. Definitely.
Yeah, what you got, bro? Yeah. What you think of the rap joint?
No, man, I think that was one of my favorite G-Rap songs. That and Ill Street Blues. So,
that's my other one. It was that Talk Like Sex or this joint?
Yeah. That was one of my favorite joints. I think, you know, his like Beezo said, man, the way G-Rap paints that picture, he just paints it like he should have wrote the guy. He should write his own Godfather movie. He just.
I wish you hadn't brought it up, man, because now I gotta hit him with a piece of the Ill Street Blues, son.
Yo, cause it's nasty, man.
Yo, son, just a piece. Well, he's like in the beginning, where he's like, soles in my shoes winking, t-shirt is shrinking. Soon I see some ties and my eyes open wide quick. Who's that with you, chick? Bill Blast my sidekick. There's a joint. What's up, Black? You just had a smack. Pow. Up, who's a Cadillac?
Baby, I'll be back.
Yo, but when he gets to that line later on, up and away, he tell you, come on, son. Every cat I know that listens to hip hop knows that line, son. Everybody.
Yeah.
Up and away, because I don't play clown. Take that with you on
the All right, no doubt. Yo, Ev, who you got for your fifth and final joint, man?
All right, my fifth and final, it might be controversy, it may not be some controversy. Who shot you?
Oh.
But
What's the controversy?
Where's the controversy?
Because I'm not talking about Biggie. The original Who Shot You, Keith Murray on it.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
It's the original. They cut Keith Murray off, and I'm still questioning why y'all cut Keith Murray off. Now, you get a little piece of Keith's verse on the Mary J. Blige joint on that interlude.
Right.
The problem is, I went online and I went searching. I could not find the lyrics for this joint anywhere. So I'm going to go a little bit off. I'm just going to go off what I know. I probably won't make it all the way to the end. But after Biggie spits for a while, and after that, it goes Keith Murray. Keith Murray comes in, he goes, catch this bubonic plague in your head, back, chest, arms, and legs. When I come through, grab your cranium for alternatum, son, I face subterranean. My subliminals mixed with lyrical chemicals got more milk and syllables than alphabet cereal. Place a bet and your whole entourage will get wet. That's a promise because I don't make threats. That's as far as I remember. But I listened to the verse earlier. I didn't have time to write it down, but Keith kills that joint. So I'm going to put that in there just because it's a verse. If you got to go online to find the track, the joint with it, and this is the original Who Shot You, not the remix joint. You know, because the original was not just Biggie. They took Keith off and just put Biggie there with another two verses on another verse. So check that joint. That's just my little shout out piece right there.
I'm gonna have to look that up. I mean, it was always one of my favorite joints on the Mary joint. You know,
yeah. His verse is nasty.
Right. And I mean, that's always been one of my. It's funny because I use that intro. My slow jam CDs is called the smooth shit. So I use that as the intro because then Puff say take that out, put the smooth shit in. Right, that's my intro. So I know the key verse, like, you know, but it was you who told me about the whole joint. So yeah, I'm gonna have to definitely dig that up. And I never heard the whole joint. I just heard it up to that point. All right, cool. So JP, who's your last joint?
For my last joint, he's one of my favorite MCs. He doesn't get mentioned as much, you know, but I'm gonna go with Fonte from Little Brother. The song is called "Doing Me," and it's a short verse, but it goes like this. They say mothers and sons should never depart. Always stay close to the heart and stand strong through whatever, regardless of their personal problems. It always should revolve around love, but lately a nigga been cautious because it's becoming a nuisance when at the drop of a dime you're putting your 2 cents in with the mention of the new love in my life. She's here to stay, ma. It's not just a fuck for the night. I gives a fuck if you like the decision I carry. Want to be happily married and not just stuck with a wife who can't adjust to my rapping and his lips are always yapping and adjust what would have happened if I took your advice. Got baby moms asking for more stacks, thinking my dough stacks, cause me and the boys work for Leo. I think both of y'all niggas need Prozac, but I got lawyers just in case she show her ass like Eeyore and want to get a piece of my hits. I support my child. Baby moms ain't entitled to shit, and it hurts to write this, but for now you understand you're gonna lose me as a son till you respect me as a man. Now,
wait, that was to his mom?
That was about his mom.
Dang.
I thought the whole song was about a short into the end, like,
to the end, I'm like, wait a minute. You talking about
That's how it's like they say mothers and sons should never depart. That's how it starts off. So it's basically, but I respect, like Fonte, he's one of the great, and he's had mad great verses. Like, he's like the Outcast. I mean, he's like the 3000 of Outcast. He's way better than Big Cool.
I think he's the dopest MC since 2000. Like,
and I can give you that.
I think he's the dopest MC.
I can give you that. Like, this verse is just like he's putting a real situation of talking about his wife, and I guess how his mom wasn't feeling his wife, and like, yo, you gotta respect my decision. Like, I don't care if you really don't like her. I love this woman, and she's gonna stay in my life. And the verse is so ill. The song is called "Doing Me," and it's dope. It's off the Little Brother Chitlin Circuit 1.5 joint. It was right after the listening.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, I definitely think Fonte is one of the few MCs who does the dope contemporary hip hop, where dude talks about real life stuff, talks about stuff that where we are saying we can't relate to what these new cats talk about. Fonte is one of the few, if not the only dude who's out there who talks about everyday life, marriage, getting laid, trying to pay bills. So I definitely salute him for that. What you was about to say?
Quick question, yeah. Well, 3 quick questions. That song was to his mom's, right?
Yeah.
Now he divorced his wife, right?
Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah, I think he's going through a divorce.
Oh, okay.
Did he put his mom in the video?
There was no video. There was.
I mean, later down the road. No, I mean later down the road, he put his mom in the video.
Oh yeah, in the other song, yeah.
All right, I'm just curious how that dynamic worked out.
Right.
What you think, Beezo? You up on Fonte?
Nah, I mean, I'll be honest. I don't really care for Little Brother, man.
You know what? I didn't care for Little Brother either, but I always liked Fonte. Like,
you know, it's funny. It's like dilated peoples.
Dilated people.
Dilated. They reminded me of, but a better version. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't dislike them like that. Version? What's that?
You said Little Brother was a better version?
Yeah. They remind me of one another. They remind me like the groups and all that. For me, because it's like my man said to me like, "Yo, you gotta hear these cats, Little Brother. It's so dope, it's so dope." And then I heard it was like, okay.
Yo,
it's like, damn, dog, you made this cat sound like he was let's come in a Nas, Jay, Biggie, all put together with Primo and Pete Rock and Dre. And I heard this shit was just like, all right, this is cool. I mean, it ain't as crazy y'all make it out to be, but so because of that, man, I never really checked for Little Brother like that.
Nah, but check for Fonte, man. That album, Charity Starts at Home, one of my favorite albums, man.
Yeah, it's dope. That album is dope.
Yeah. Yo, it's funny because Kill was talking about dilated peoples earlier today.
Yeah, we gonna get off dilated, so we gonna go.
Hey, especially you, Kill. I said I like the album.
I didn't even throw that out there. That Beezo actually likes the new album. I love the new album.
Probably because I wasn't expecting anything. You know what I'm saying? But then I heard that commercial was like, oh, okay. But I'll say this one. When I kind of compared him to Dilated Peoples is in the fact of, you remember Kill when I was talking to you about them, and I'm like, yo, who's the one cat? The one cat in Dilated, I fuck with. His voice, his flow is nice. The other cat is just like
science.
It's like Malachi the Nutcracker to me. Yo, like, who is this nigga?
We got to go for that. We gonna go into my 5th joint, the Notorious Big, one of my favorite joints, Long Kiss Goodnight. You know what I'm saying? Nigga starts off with, I make your mouthpiece obese like Della Reese. When I release, you lose teeth like little C's. Nigga, please, blood floods your dungarees. And that's just the half of my warpath. Laugh now, cry later. I rhyme greater than the average player hater. The spectators buy my CD twice. They see me in the streets, they be like, yo, he nice, but that's on the low though. Be the cats with no doughs try to play me at my show. I pull out full foes and go up in their clothes. Short chains niggas, snort cane niggas. Extortion came quicker, brought the range nigga. You used to tickle me. I used to be as hard as little Ripple be, till little C's cripple me. Now I play hard like my girl's nipples be. The game sour like a pickle be. Y'all know the rules. Move from BK to New Jeru. Think about all the planes we flew, bitches we ran through. Now the year's new. I lay my game flat. I want my spot back. Take 2. Motherfuckers mad cause I blew niggas envy. Excuse me. Envious. Too many niggas on my dick. Shit strenuous. When my men bust, you just move with such stamina. Slugs missed ya. I ain't mad at you. We ain't mad at you. Blood rushing, concussions ain't nothing. Catch cases come out frontin', smoking something. Sipping white Russian, bitchin', the bins bumping. I laced it with the basic. 6 TVs a system, knocking May shit. Face it, we hard to hit. Guard your shit before I stick you for your re-up. Wipe the pee up, mix shots, woke your seat up. Go in the ashtray, spark the weed up. Long Kiss. One of my favorite big joints, man. I just felt like I had so many big joints to pick from, but when listening to Life After Death, that joint, that verse always stuck out to me. When Little C's cripple me, now I play hard like my girl's nipples be. Like, I was like, this nigga's a monster, man. This nigga's a monster. What you think about that, JP?
That's the half joint, right?
What happened? No. This is the RZA joint. It's like the last song on this too.
Yeah. I mean, what can you say, man? It's Big, son. Big is, his voice, his cadence, his flow, his lyrics. I mean, he had it all, man, and that shows it, man. I haven't heard Long Kiss in a minute, but that joint is dope. It's dope, son. It's crazy.
What you got on that, Ev?
I wasn't a fan of Life After Death, so I'm not familiar with that song actually.
Right.
There's only like 2 songs on that album that I listened to. I really wasn't a fan of that joint like that.
Yeah, you gotta dig up on that joint. Beezo, what you think? Long Kiss.
I mean, like both of y'all just said, man. I mean, it's big. The only thing I would add to what JP just said about him is his wordplay. I mean, how he puts thoughts together.
Yeah.
Like he said, he went from ashy to classy in that joint, that other song. I mean, shit like that. It's just like, and how he started off kicking the door. What I mean? The string of rain on the top was short like leprechauns. As I crushed so-called Willie's thugs and Rabadons. Like, come on, son.
That's good.
That nigga big, yo. He was, and like I was just saying. So don't nobody get it twisted. I'm not discrediting Biggie, but it's just that I look at Biggie like I looked at Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson probably would have been the illest running back in the history of the NFL, but the nigga got hurt, so we never got a chance to see him. You know what I mean? And Biggie, unfortunately, was taken from cats before you could see his evolution. You could see him grow as a lyricist, as an MC or whatever, man.
All right, so B, who you got for your 5th and last joint?
Now, I gotta admit, Kill, I thought you was gonna come with the Quiet Storm joint, so I had that, but I said I'll let Kill.
I was, but it's the love between us. I thought you was gonna come with it.
So we looking out for each other and left that joint off. So I'll just announce that y'all go out and listen to it, not the remix, the original Quiet Storm. His first verse, go look it up. People, go look it up. MetroLyrics.com, anywhere you want to look, bad spots. Look up Quiet Storm, the original lyrics. Prodigy spits, man. It's ridiculous. But
you're talking about my mom, right?
Yeah. My joint is it's probably one of my favorite MCs. It's one of the most slept on cats, man. Yeah. My nigga Grand Poobah. Well, what's the 411? Now, I had a whole lot of joints. I had him from Matches and Ceremonies cracked out. The original I mean, but I said, I'm going to take it back that far. There's probably not too many heads I know.
What's the 411?
What's that?
You said, what's the 411? That verse?
410 for Mary J's album.
Goes Deanie right now.
Listen to this nigga's verse. This nigga, and mind you, he wrote the whole thing. He wrote, of course, Mary's verse also. But the nigga said, and it's not just Poobah's lyrics, it's his flow, son. The nigga just that shit. The nigga said, well, I'll be Poobah on this here, the nigga from last year, the most hanging baggy, Tommy Hilfiger top kid. Take no shorts, I'm doing lovely in all sports. Even swing the pole at the hole of my golf course. Some say I'm fancy because I'm horny and nasty. If I see some other joint, then I won't let it pass me. I take no shorts, let something step up and see. I flip the script and get harder than Jeopardy. I shot the sheriff and the motherfucking deputy. Test me. He's not done. He's not done. I'm not Keith Sweat, but bet that ass that I can make it last. Skins turn their head so fast, they end up catching whiplash. If Hun's a monster, I'm Carl Lewis on the meter dash. It's Grand Poobah, baby, and I'm getting crazy cash. But then the way he says, 411, no. That shit is lovely. I'm sorry, yo. Poobah is one of the illest niggas ever, man. Where we at?
There was a time span in those years, probably like 94, 95. I really honestly think Poobah was the illest nigga walking the planet. You know?
He was like Prodigy.
There was a time
in terms of having that run.
Yeah, he was the illest nigga walking, spitting.
Man.
And one thing I gotta add about Poobah, he was the first cat, and not that this is some really badge of honor.
That's my
he's the first cat to be talking about like Tommy Hilfiger top bit, boots hanging baggy.
Right.
He's the first cat to talk about his clothes and designer shit and all that.
Yeah. He made cats get on Tommy Hill and Jabbar.
Absolutely. Tommy Hill owes that nigga a check, big time. Word up.
That's good.
Absolutely. And I don't even heard, but did y'all remember the Sprite commercial he did in the studio?
Yeah. Over in Beats the President. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Hey, Kill. That's why when BET did them goddamn ciphers and they kept coming out to impeach the president, I told my man, yo, I wish Fuba, KRS, Kane, and Slick Rick would come walking out from the back and just shut all of these niggas down.
Right.
Every single one of them. Because to rhyme over impeach the president, and you can't come no better than these niggas did in that BET God-forsakenness, come on, man.
Nah. Well, definitely a dope show. I'm going to run down everything real quick. Beezo, you came in with Rakim, What's on Your Mind, Rakim Mahogany, J Electronica Exhibit C, Fuji Rap Streets of New York, and Grand Puma with What's the 411. We had Ev coming in with Nas's Verbal Intercourse, Razzcast, On Earth as It Is in Heaven, Lauryn Hill with Mini Mics, Jizzle with Guillotine Swords, and Keith Murray with Who Shot You. JP came through with Nas If I Ruled the World, Jay-Z Streets Is Watching, Andre 3000's Royal Flush, Fonte's Doing Me, and Rakim's Know the Ledge. And I came with the Black Thought, Push Up Your Lighter, AZ Life's a Bitch, Andre 3000 with Return to Gangster, Rakim Know the Ledge, and Big Long Kiss. You got poor Rakim, so I mean, I guess that says something about the guy right there.
You went through the whole song too. I'm sorry about that.
Right.
Yeah, we got two Nas's and we got two 3000s. So, you know, that's kind of saying something right there. So, you know, can't be mad at that. But definitely another dope ep. Like I said, the greatest thing about the show, like Ev always says, is even as us being on the show, now I got to go dig up this Razzcast joint. There's a couple of joints I got to pull back out to get up on because I respect cats enough that if I don't know the joint, I definitely, you know, want to go hit the Fonte Doing Me joint. I got to dig that up. So, yeah, you know, leave us some more comments. Again, shout out to Lakers King One who left the comment for us to even do the show. Appreciate you checking us out, bruh. As always, youtube.com/live from the bench. Leave some comments, subscribe, all that good stuff. Ev, Beezo, JP, another dope show. Appreciate y'all.
Peace.